Welcome to another State of the Metaverse. Today, I'm here with another expert from the Metaverse industry, and in this case, particularly the XR or VR space, but I'm probably already doing everything wrong explaining it, so I want to give it over to Jan Verwoerd. He has a little company called 360 Fabriek, which translates to 360 Factory.
Exactly.
And he's doing some really cool and amazing stuff. So Jan, can you give a short introduction of yourself? What's not on your LinkedIn profile? And what is it you guys do exactly?
Thank you very much for having me. Awesome to talk to you here in your podcast at your Open Metaverse. My name is Jan Verwoerd. I am the founder and owner of 360 Factory, just like Aragon already told you. Basically, we have one specialty, which is the digitization of objects and environments. So, in a few words, we create photorealistic 3D models out of images and/or pictures. And we do that for lots of purposes: e-commerce, virtual reality trainings, AR for e-commerce, and lots of other things.
Cool. So, Jan, Metaverse has become this really big thing, and we're part of that. But from what I understand, and considering how long I've already been following you on LinkedIn, I know that you guys were already working on this stuff way before Mark Zuckerberg's announcement or before the big Metaverse boom, right?
Yeah, quite some time before, exactly. I think we started really working in, let's say, the Metaverse space in 2017, more or less. So that's more or less 5 years ago. But before that, we were already busy creating 360 interactive tours, virtual reality trainings and stuff like that. And at some point I thought, well, is there a better or nicer way for creating 3D models? And I knew there was a technique called photogrammetry, where you just take a bunch of pictures of an object and use those to recreate or reconstruct the object digitally. And I thought this is a very nice way of creating 3D models, only the optimization was quite a hassle back then. It was only used by Hollywood for special effects and in archaeology, where budget has no role. And yeah, we focused on that and optimized the pipelines, and that's where it all started, actually.
Cool. So you guys have been doing this for a while. You said you guys experimented. You did 360 recordings, virtual reality. What would you say, in your personal experience and that of 360 Fabriek, what has changed for you since Metaverse became this mainstream hype, at least for the last few months?
Market share. So more companies are thinking about it, or basically researching what it can do for them. And before that, more...
Can you give some examples of that?
Oh yeah, so a few years ago, everything we did was called a gimmick. Yeah. Remember that time? I really hated it. But yeah, that's how companies saw us. And it was this, they knew it was coming. So some of them took it seriously, but it was so far away. It was not, let's say, concrete to research, to look what it can do for them, what benefits it would have for them, what cost saving it would have for them, and or benefits for their clients, right? Yep. And what we've noticed is that changed completely. So almost every company that we call is interested, right? Not that they would do it right away.
Okay, you said every company you call. So are you guys doing active sales then?
Not anymore. Not anymore. No, because, well, we have too much work. And good developers are scarce. Not that it's hard to learn, but it takes time to learn. Yeah. And we try not to grow too fast, because we like doing nice things and have fun a lot. And I just don't want to lose that.
Cool. So just for listeners out there, Jan just said something really interesting. He said, developers are scarce. And I've been saying this, and maybe if you've been listening to the show, you've heard me say this before. But just to give you a little insight, in the last 4 years, year over year, the growth in demand for Unreal Engine developers, for example, has gone up by 400% on average globally.
That's it? Only 400%?
Oh, well, in New Zealand it was 900%, and in Singapore it was also 900%. So it's pretty crazy, but
it is crazy. And then that's only Unreal Engine.
Yeah.
That's a small part of the whole, you know.
We're not even talking about Unity or anything else.
Web developers, very specialized web developers that specialize in web rendering, they're just nowhere to be found.
Yeah.
And the people that are actually very good, they get acquired by the really big companies, the tech companies, the Apples, the Googles.
And the gaming companies, of course.
And the gaming companies, yeah.
So if you have younger siblings, if you have children, and you want to give them a great career, don't tell them to do something they suck at, but consider letting them experience maybe some development in this area.
And it's so much fun.
Yeah.
As well. I mean, there's this concept called code combat. Do you know it?
No.
I completely
But it
love
sounds good. I love
It's
combat.
just a game. It's just a game, and you start up with nothing, zero knowledge. You do not have to read any book, any paper, any boring stuff. You just start. You get instructions while you go, and you get level up, and every level is getting more difficult, right? So you're just programming this puppet to go from A to B, and it gets harder, and you get enemies and stuff like that, and it's all done by coding. Every nephew, every niece of me gets this prescription for me, because I'm completely sure that it will help them in the future.
I think so too. I would have loved that. Now there's this whole no-code movement, of course, right?
Yeah.
So we're moving in terms of development. We're moving from traditional coding, the matrix hackers that do everything in code. We're moving to this new way of code development, and I think we're also, of course, seeing that AI development, where AI is being used to generate things, and human beings are put more in this director's seat, where they just give proper instructions, but they don't actually have to do the coding anymore. So sometimes I feel like I'm really happy that I was born in the time that I am, in the 80s and 90s. But sometimes I feel, oh man, it would have been so cool to be born now, or to be very young now, because you don't have to go through all that hassle of the real coding anymore.
Yeah, but you also know that even though all these blueprints, all this node coding is being developed, if you want to do something groundbreaking, you need to code it.
Yeah,
right?
you still need to do it yourself.
So,
yeah. So, you guys, you virtualize, you digitize assets. Why is that increasingly important now, and why is it so important for this metaverse future, do you think?
Well, like the metaverse will be, let's say, a digital copy, or at least it blends with the physical world, right? So everything you do in there is 3D. So every asset you want to use needs to be either created or scanned. Right? And therefore, I think there is a huge demand for 3D models in the future. Now, we have all these libraries already where you can just grab what you want. And that's cool. You can just grab it, take it, use it, create something. But in my opinion, when companies, and that's where I'm focused on, want to start in the metaverse, they want to start with their own stuff, with their own products, with their own environments, with their own office.
Okay.
And that's why I believe that now, but also in the future, the demand of 3D models will even increase more than now.
Yeah.
I also think that at one point it will be substituted by AI. So you will not need to scan, let's say, 250 images of an object to recreate it in 3D. You only need to take 3 or 4 images.
Have you seen the new NVIDIA demo video on Nerve?
Yeah, of
4
course.
pictures.
Yeah, 4 images. But
didn't you guys just build this incredible machine to completely scan something?
Yep. Yeah.
Are you still happy with it, or are you thinking to yourself, "Wow, I wish we just got this Nerve tech a little faster"?
Well, that's a very good question. I hope that we don't need it anymore, even though we developed it. That's a genuine hope I have, because then I know the market of creation will go so fast that the rest will follow. Unfortunately, I just don't believe that yet, because there are more ways with AI to create digital twins, basically.
Yeah.
And they're getting better and better, but they're not perfect yet. And one thing I noticed with my clients is that with a picture, everyone understands if you zoom in, it will get pixelated, right?
Yeah.
The resolution is not good enough.
Yeah.
But with 3D, all my clients expect to be zooming in all
And
the way to the
they can still see the pores in
freaking
your skin. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So people engage with it in a different way. And I know that these algorithms have a long way to go, before they can really be used for professional digitization. But yeah, it will go there, definitely.
Let's say we bring someone in like Chantal, right? Chantal is our creative director. She's super visionary, extremely visual, and I personally really appreciate her view of where we're going with this metaverse world, right? And she represents a big part of people that are now investing in the metaverse. You know, I would almost call them metaverse maximalists, and they're like, why would you recreate the physical world in all its the physical world is amazing, but in all its boringness, in a digital world, if you can do so much more and so much different. So what would you say to that?
That's a very good argument, and I believe till a certain degree, people will recreate the physical world because they feel comfortable in it. On the other hand, right now you see all these virtual shops coming, right? So they basically recreate a physical shop in a metaverse shop, which is completely ridiculous because why would you take all the disadvantages of physical shopping and bring them digitally?
I really hope kind of that Alan Smithson from Metaverse isn't listening to this show, because he's one of the big influencers on LinkedIn, and he's a nice guy, but whenever he puts his project forward, they're building a mall. It's literally called the mall.
Yeah,
I always think,
I've seen it.
I haven't actually done a real demo. Have you?
Yeah. Actually, we have his software,
Okay.
MetaVRC engine, which is a web engine.
Okay.
And it's completely based on no coding.
Okay.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's not great, but it's pretty good.
They're still working on it,
And I believe the reason why he's doing it is because it has some marketing value there, right? And this is the way people are thinking right now. But I know for a fact that will never happen, because people will start using it when it gets cheaper, easier, better, faster, and people will not use it when you take the disadvantages and bring them virtually, because there's no point to it, right?
No.
So let's talk about a virtual shop, right? Why not stand on the same place and just switch objects in front of you very easily, right?
Yeah.
And then if you're interested in one, take one, look around it.
Okay.
Put it on yourself. Switch to camera.
Fair enough. But Pokemon Go is a game out there.
Yeah.
It has 80 million players, and it requires you to move. So apparently,
I'm not saying not moving is not good.
Okay.
But in the example of shopping, right? Why is online shopping so great at the moment? Why is it so booming at the moment? It's you can just access it everywhere. It's very easy, and
But is that because the people don't want to go to a store, or is it because if you go to a store, you have to deal with people in the store that keep trying to sell you stuff that you don't really want?
I'm not sure if that's the reason. I know some people actually have problems with that. I don't have at all. I actually like going into shops and shopping a bit, but it just takes so much time. And it's just so easy to sit somewhere, scroll and buy and get it the next day, right? Yeah. It's easier, and that's why I believe people use it. And that's the same with the metaverse, in my opinion. So if it's easier, if it's better, if it's faster, if it has added value, people will use it. Otherwise, they don't.
Cool.
How do you think about that?
Nice one. Well, I'm always thinking of it this way. We have a whole generation here of kids. More than 54% of kids between 9 and 16 play Roblox, play Minecraft. These kids grow up in a world where having a digital avatar as a representation of your identity, as an identity expression, is the standard. And these kids always also ask for Robux for their birthday to buy digital assets in a digital store. And for these kids, the buying a skin it's more about an experience. It's about an expression of self, and that's the driver. And the only reason they're doing it online is because that's where half of their identity resides. If you ask these same kids, they want to buy clothes online or in a store, I think that the reason a lot of people choose to go for online shopping these days is because of lack of time. I don't want to go into the city because it costs me time. It's not that that it's easier in the sense of it's more trouble to go to store. It's that if I work 40 hours a week and I only got Saturday and Sunday to do some other stuff and I want to see my family, then taking 3-4 hours to go out to the city to buy something is a big hassle if I can also do it in 10 minutes
so it's easier
online.
to do it in your house, right?
But if you have that experience and you can just do that virtually, then these kids, and this is the point that I want to make, these kids then go and dress up their avatar, they buy skins, and then they still spend 3-4 hours, a week making their avatar look the way they think is cool. Right?
Yeah, because they identify themselves with it, basically.
Yeah.
Interesting, huh? How that... But aren't we doing the same? I mean, when I play games, I'm always dressing up.
What do you play?
Whatnot? No, I don't play that much anymore. Actually, last time, how to say, the last game that I was playing is Call of Duty, basically.
Okay. You don't really have. Do you have an avatar in there? Well,
yeah, but
standard, right?
you can basically customize your weapon, put logos on it and stuff like that, and it makes the game more fun.
I find
doesn't it?
Yeah, it's funny. I have some gaming friends and we play Apex Legends. And this is also funny because my friends, they don't spend a dime on the game because they don't care shit about the avatar and what they look like. And I'm always spending money on my looks and they're always making fun of me.
I have the same problem. And I don't know why, but it's just fun to do. And I don't care about the money anyway. So why not? But that is being grown into the kids, like you say, right now. And you see that with the virtual jackets that where Snapchat is working on and with their partners. I think that stuff is getting really important in the future.
Yeah. I have another question for you, Jan. You guys digitize assets. How do people interact with these assets after they've been digitized? Is that mostly through VR, or is that through desktop and laptop, or is that in another way?
All right, so 70% of the traffic we see comes from a desktop, believe it or not.
Desktop.
Yeah, so there are people that are shopping on an e-commerce platform, mainly furniture. We do a lot of furniture. And there they see what they like, then they press a button. There they can view the object in 3D and or get a QR code to bring it into their own environment. That's very interesting to increase conversion rates or decrease return rates.
Return rates,
return rates, exactly. Another big part is being used in trainings. So we work a lot for competitors or colleagues because every VR training, every AR experience starts with 3D assets. And the closer you can get them to reality, the better it is. And it's always a hassle for them. They try to outsource it. And that's always interesting. So we take that part of them. We digitize the assets, deliver what they need, optimize them well, and get over with it.
Okay. And so right now, most of your digital assets are being experienced through a more traditional platform like PC on a two-dimensional screen.
Well, they experience it through their phone, of course, but they get it from a QR code whilst being on a desktop.
Okay. So they're not using virtual reality yet or augmented reality?
They use augmented reality to place the object within their own environment. To see if the size fits, right? Or if
do
the
you guys
object
do
fits.
something like, maybe you've seen this video of Nike where you point your phone at your foot and you get Nike and you can see how it looks on you?
Yeah, that's Wanna Kicks, where you're talking about, or Wanna Fashion called now. It's actually integrated directly into Snapchat at the moment, so you can directly go to Snap Studio or Lens Studio, it's called, and use that feature, right? And it's just an algorithm that tracks your foot and places the object on it. They do it with wrists, they do it with ears, with sunglasses, with pretty much everything
Do you
already.
see a future for that? A real future?
I have to say yes because of my business.
Okay, here we go. Give us the
but
juicy truth, Jan.
I don't think so. No.
No? Why not?
I like it as a visualization tool, but I'm not seeing it being used a lot for something else. So let's say you buy a digital shoe for your metaverse experience, right?
Yep.
I see it being used there much more than in the physical world. Or you should sell something physical and also sell the digital version with it, right? Now, I do see that even though it looks a bit fake having the virtual shoe on your foot, but it actually helps people with visualizing how that would be on your foot. Now, I have a use case for you. So we have a client, they do these semi-orthopedic shoes, right?
Yeah.
They get produced per piece.
Yeah.
So
Very custom made.
They're custom made. So it is impossible for them to fit them on in a store because they don't have the ability to do it.
Okay.
Even though they don't have the size, or you have some sort of problem on your foot that you just cannot wear any shoe, right?
Yeah.
So what we've done there is digitize the shoe and then used Snapchat's technology or Wana Fashion's technology actually to show and visualize how that shoe would be on your foot. And then that has added value, right? This way they have much less stock, which lowers the costs, right? So the margins get bigger and they have money to invest in new tech.
Okay. So then my next question is, I mean, have you, for example, Magic Leap, right? We have Magic Leap, we have HoloLens. We have a lot of these companies working on augmented reality. When Meta announced that, they're building a pair of glasses, next generation Meta Quest.
Ray-Bans.
Basically that should be...
Cambria, you mean?
Yeah.
Project Cambria, exactly. The VR,
Yeah. So, and they want it to be like ski goggles that, you can either have full-blown VR or you can have see-through augmented reality. So how do you feel about that then?
That's an interesting topic. I'm actually not a fan of AR glasses at the moment at all. I know that hurts a lot of people. Excuse me, sorry. But
unacceptable.
The quality of it isn't just cutting it for me at the moment, right? The field of view is too small, the transparency is too much. So for me, that kills the experience.
Yeah.
And they're very expensive. When
did you get your first mobile phone, Jan?
When did I get my first?
When did you get your first mobile phone?
I don't know. I think I was 10 or 12 or something. 10, I think.
What kind of phone was it?
It was this really old Motorola that was opening up, very big.
Oh, you had a flip one?
Yeah, I had the flip
antenna
one.
that you could pull out?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. A black one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why? From where this
how
question?
Was the screen on that one?
It was terrible. It was really terrible. And don't get me wrong, I'm not a fan of the AR glasses at the moment. In the future, with good glasses that work well with good tech, good field of view, good transparency, good battery life, lightweight, able to use every day, contact lenses maybe, you know? For that, I see a huge future. But for the AR glasses or the iteration that they have on sale right now, I find it very hard to see added value in that.
Yeah.
Then I would rather have a Vario VR headset and use pass-through. Yeah. Because it doesn't have the transparency. The frames per second is quite good. So you can actually have a really immersive, realistic experience with that. And that's just something I'm missing with these AR glasses from now. What do you think about it?
Like it how you keep turning that around.
Yeah, but
no, I'm a big believer. But I'm not looking
at the HoloLens too.
Yeah, but I'm not looking at HoloLens right now. I'm looking at HoloLens 2-3 years from now when that tech will be Ray-Ban.
So you're not a big fan of
Ray-Ban glasses. No, I'm not a big fan at the moment, but I look at it. I understand that this technology needs to be developed and. For a long time, I've been resistant against Apple and iPhone, and I didn't care about it. But my marketing team assholes.
They're over there.
My marketing team, we're going to cut that out. But Bo, if you're watching this, just cut this out. But anyway, they convinced me to get an iPhone. And then I also watched Steve Jobs' introduction keynote of the iPhone. And I realized there's this part where he shows old smartphones up until the point, and they have all of these nitty-gritty, super uncomfortable, shitty buttons that cannot be changed, right? Because it's not a screen, it's not a touch screen, it's buttons. And then he says, like, we're gonna fix this. We're just making a giant screen. And looking back now, it seems so obvious to us, right?
Mm-hmm.
But back then, this was a massive, massive breakthrough. The whole idea of making a touchscreen and taking it all to the screen and then having a configurable keyboard completely changed our experience. But it
took some years though.
Exactly, and this is the point. It took some years for smartphone technology to get to that point, and then for somebody to have that brilliant idea. And I believe that if companies like yours are building on digitizing more and more assets, making it, opening up all kinds of possibilities of what you can do with those assets in the digital world. If companies like Meta, even though I don't like Meta, but they're investing billions in this development and trying to figure it out. And then there's companies like ours that are trying to build these platforms to make it all interoperable. I think that ultimately, it's a future that can never, it's going to happen one way or the
100%.
other. And what we really want, and I said that this morning in the keynote as well, right now our smartphones, even though they're amazing, are like cigarettes.
Explain yourself.
Well, smoking and why people have a problem with stopping smoking is because they build up the habit. Mm-hmm. They build up the habit that whenever they're not doing something, they have a cigarette in their hands and bring it to their mouth. And it's just, it's learned behavior. It's just a habit. And we have the habit, even if you don't smoke, to take, whenever we're not engaging with a person, when I'm not talking to you, I'm going to take out my iPhone because I'm going to look at it because it's something to do.
For your dopamine shot.
Exactly, for your dopamine shot. And what I believe is that once we truly and fully go over through to that constant AR, where all of the stuff that we do on our phone becomes integrated into the way we perceive the world through glasses, and we no longer have to think about grabbing our phone or not. We will ditch that habit, and we will start integrating how we experience the digital reality in how we deal with everything else, and that's that our mind decides what we're focused on in that particular moment, and it becomes a seamless interaction. So I think that there's a very big future for AR.
Huge future.
A huge future. But for that future to be realized, people also need to, and this is where I completely agree with you, they will first need to have handlebars to go into this world.
Exactly. So that's why the AR glasses that are on the market right now, I can only see them for researching purposes, And
yeah, I mean, HoloLens is what, €3,500? I don't think that we're all just instantly gonna buy one. Magic Leap is $3,500. Yeah.
Really looking forward for the next generation Magic Leap. I've heard it's pretty good.
Yeah.
I haven't had the opportunity to try it yet. But
how do you feel about imagine you go to a retail store and you get a set of VR glasses at the door. Instead of trying shoes on, you just go from stand to stand in the store, and would that work?
Good question. I don't know. Maybe it could work, but I do feel like that when people take the effort to go somewhere, they want to
have the real thing, man.
Yeah? At least if I go to a shop to buy something, I want to feel it. I want to engage with it, Otherwise, I would have bought it online. So I see a future for retail there, as in experiences instead of buying. So in that case, a virtual reality glasses could be an added value for some purposes, but not for just go out and take it and go in the store and just buy something.
I have another question for you. How do you see the future of your business?
I have no idea.
I love it.
So
let me ask a different question. if you look at your client base right now, and you don't have to give us exact names, you may, if you can. I would love to know a little bit about what kind of clients you guys have, but what kind of industries, at least, are your main clients right now? What kind of companies are asking for you to do stuff, and what kind of projects are that?
So it's very different, very broad, and probably that's why I don't know where my company is going, because we do not want to put too much focus on it, because the landscape of XR, of the metaverse, is changing so fast. We just want to have fun, right? And stuff will come on our path to help other people, genuinely help other people research the benefits of it. And I think that's where our future lies as well, right?
Okay, so you're not focused on getting into a particular industry, but can you give us an idea of what industries? I mean, is it really so broad that you couldn't say like, okay, this is where they mainly come from? Is it really that?
So now our main focus is digitizing objects and environments, because we see that a lot of people are starting with that, and we've seen that a couple of years ago, and found the question challenging enough to be working on it. Right? This is something we could solve. Now, that particular subject is getting solved by AI in the coming years.
Yeah.
So we will need to find something else to do. And we are not a really commercial company that has one product and then just copy paste that for the next, I don't know, 10, 15 years. We find it a lot of fun to play around with every piece of tech these huge tech companies are letting go for us, and just play around with it. And then at that point, we noticed that the companies that they don't have the time or the will to find it out, right? And actually, that's where our added value is. So now we see the metaverse is a really big definition now. So we use an instance of Mozilla Hubs. You probably know it. We completely rebuilded it so we can have different customer iterations on there. We are building it for schools so they can give class in there. We are building it for lots of different purposes, and that's what we find really fun. And then the VR training is also a very big part of what we're doing right now, for firefighting trainings, for example.
Okay.
For work preparation in hospitals, in pharmaceuticals. So I foresee that will go on for quite a while, because I have never had a client that we've delivered a virtual reality trainings and didn't come back in 6 months for more. Because they just see, oh my God, this is so fun. Oh my God, it's so fast. Oh, is it doing this for them? Is it having a good way of teaching something without being dull
or dangerous?
So there are so many opportunities there, and that we like, because it's very close to gaming. It has a lot of challenges left that we can solve. So the virtual reality training is something we will be doing for quite a while.
Okay. We've spoken a few times. You spoke about the MetaVR's engine, or OpenGL engine, I think you said, or WebGL, that was being built by Alan Smithson in his company Metaverse, for this mall, as an example. I've heard you talk about other technologies. You guys use Mozilla Hubs. We spoke about Unreal Engine. We spoke about Unity. What are your thoughts on technology and open standards? I mean, your Open Metaverse has recently joined the Open Standards Forum. Do you think there's going to be any standardization taking place? You guys experiment with a lot of technology. Do you think that initiatives like building your own engine, web engine, can that be successful at any point, considering how much money Unreal Engine and Unity are pumping into what they're doing and how big they already are?
So we need open standards, in my opinion. I'm not sure if they're going to be there, because what you see right now happening in the market is that they are all trying to claim the metaverse.
Yeah.
Which...
It's ours. Go away.
Which is really bad and dangerous, in my opinion. because I like open source. I like sharing. I like creating with other people and making the world a better place. But I'm afraid that a lot of these companies are just in it to make money, get more influence, more power. And they have a track record of not working together very well. So I'm not seeing them work together in the near future. So that means that we will need to have other companies like your Open Metaverse creating open standards that are so good other developers can connect to. And then because that, for me, that's the metaverse, right? The metaverse is the new internet. Not only able to give you websites, but give you interactive, virtual, and physical blended experiences wherever and whenever you need them, right? And that's not possible on one platform. So we need something over that, connecting all of that underneath.
Interoperability, yeah. So 360 Fabriek world in your Open Metaverse, say 1.5 year from now?
When are you done?
I'm supposed to not chill your Open Metaverse. This is the state of the Metaverse. We're totally, objective, just, sharing insights.
For sure. But that's why I'm here, because I really like what you guys are doing, and we need more companies like that working on an open standard for everyone, which is decentralized and giving everyone the opportunity to connect and create their own stuff. Because you and me, we both know that even though you start from zero, within a few weeks you can create 3D awesome stuff. You can start coding, you can start creating, and we just need platforms for other people to do it with,
Yep.
Because they cannot start from zero. Let's be honest, they cannot start from zero. So they need some sort of platform to start off, and either it's you or other platforms coming up, because I know there are more companies doing it. And then I hope that a company like Meta will not make the metaverse. I was actually scared when I saw this presentation. At one point, I thought, is he going to name Facebook the metaverse? No. Will he do it? No. Okay, it's just Meta. Oh.
Well, honestly, I do feel a little sorry for Mark, because I think that what started out as what he thought was a brilliant idea to claim the whole metaverse industry has actually backfired on him massive, because ultimately so much money has gone to companies like our own, like yours, because of the media attention, etc. And instead he got, he basically got his leash pulled by shareholders saying, hey, what the hell are you doing with our money? so I don't.
Well, he had his chance, and don't forget, their investments helped us a lot.
Yeah.
So I don't hate them at all. I mean, they are they have a very important role in the market penetration of VR, and also the growing up of the technology, bringing in more money to actually get it there,
True.
So we could all go on our knees and thank Mark Zuckerberg for that.
Let's not be unrealistic here. I mean, we have a Meta Quest 2 in the office, and I'm using one at home.
Me as well.
Yeah.
But he made some really important mistakes there, and the first, and I think the most important one, is to actually have a Facebook account to be able to use it. That's a huge mistake.
Yeah, but then again, I also don't think he could have done anything else, because again, his shareholders. How would he have been able to explain to shareholders that 90% of revenue generated by this company is generated by having people create accounts to log in so you can scrape their data? There was literally, I mean, he would have had to be a CEO with balls the size of Mars to actually, push something like that through.
Yeah, but he could have scraped without the account. I mean.
Yeah, maybe you're right. I mean, you probably know more about that tech than me, but yeah. Cool. Wow, I think we already almost did an hour, Jan.
That went fast.
It went really fast.
Awesome.
Yeah. It's been an absolute pleasure having you on the show. Before we finish up, because please tell people listening to the show where can they find out more about you? Where can they find out more about 360 Fabriek? Where do they need to go?
So I'm mainly on LinkedIn. I've been posting there cool stuff about AR and VR for years. I have around 17,000 followers right now. A lot of people engaging on it.
This guy.
A lot of fun. So if you want to keep updated, follow me on LinkedIn.
Awesome. Do you guys still have a Web 2.0 website, or is?
Hell yeah! But we have some fancy 3D stuff on there, you know.
where can it go? 360 Fabriek.
www.360fabriek.nl.
Yes. So that's FABRIEK.nl.
Yep.
All right, we'll put it in the show notes for sure.
Thank you so much, Aragon.
It's been an absolute pleasure, Jan. So.
Awesome.
So for those, for you guys out there listening, and if you've been watching the show, hopefully you did enjoy this. This was the first show where we had actually somebody live in the studio here. So if it's not 100% perfect, please don't hate us. We'll work on the camera angles. Of course, make sure to help us. Like and subscribe on Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, wherever you're seeing or watching the show or listening to the show. Hopefully on the platform of your choice. And stay tuned, because we'll be back next week with another amazing expert to tell you everything about their experience and their business, or whatever it is they're doing that has a relationship to the metaverse and the future of mankind.